What if dozens of species lurked undiscovered right beside bustling towns, even in landscapes we think we know?
Today, we reveal Alto Mayo's hidden creatures, from a swimming mouse to a blob-headed fish, and why it matters.
Stick with us as we plunge into the story, how 13 scientists and local Awajún guides discovered 27 species in a landscape shared by 280,000 people, and what their find means for our planet. Welcome to our AI-powered wildlife channel, where two digital hosts bring you real science stories with authenticity and transparency, plus loads of heart.
Yes, we're AI avatars, but our mission is grounded: to sift hype from fact and help you understand why these discoveries matter truly.
Stick around as we confront the elephant in the room. Can AI hosts connect you to nature better than humans? Let's find out. Picture Peru's Alto Mayo landscape, a 780,000-hectare mosaic where Andean peaks meet Amazonian jungle. It's not some untouched Eden. It's home to 280,000 people, coffee fields, and indigenous villages. For 15 years, Conservation International and local Awajún communities have worked together here, promoting shade-grown coffee and vanilla to curb deforestation. Our story begins in 2022, when 13 scientists teamed up with Awajún guides for a 38-day survey across forests, swamps, and rivers. Together, they carried camera traps, bioacoustic sensors, and eDNA vials, hunting for creatures in a place everyone thought was already well known.
The numbers matter. Over 2,046 species logged using camera traps, DNA analysis, and old-fashioned nets. 4 new mammals, 8 fish, 3 amphibians, 10 butterflies, 2 beetles, and 49 species already on the IUCN's red list. Those stats challenge our assumptions. The team scoured 8 sites and still found life no one had cataloged, even as farmers planted coffee and rice nearby. That tension between human use and hidden biodiversity is the core of this story. Data like this feed into corridor plans, linking Alto Mayo's protected forest with Cordillera Escalera, but only if action follows discovery.
Let's zoom in on the people. Awajún guides aren't just porters, they're co-scientists. Their traditional knowledge led scientists to hidden swamp patches and white sand forests where microhabitats flourish. Imagine trekking 6 hours with someone who knows every bird call and plant use. This collaboration wasn't extractive. It provided training and tools for local participants while validating their cosmovision. As one Awajún collaborator put it, the forest is part of who we are. In our pack, we know that bridging modern science with ancestral wisdom makes discoveries possible and fosters stewardship that lasts.
Why does this matter? Because Alto Mayo isn't a remote outpost. It's a test case for conservation in places where people live. Deforestation from agriculture has eaten away at its forests since the 1980s. The team recorded 49 threatened species, including critically endangered monkeys and elusive owls. Yet they also found dozens of creatures with no scientific names. Indigenous fishers already knew the blob-headed catfish, but outsiders didn't. The message is clear. We still have much to learn, and time is running out. Without corridors connecting fragmented habitats, these newly found animals could vanish before we even name them. Let's start with the star of the expedition, a semi-aquatic spiny rat known as Daptomys. About the size of a common mouse, this amphibious rodent has partially webbed feet and hunts insects in swampy pools. According to expedition leader Trond Larsen, finding a carnivorous semi-aquatic rodent in a human-dominated landscape was shocking and exciting. Myth-bust moment. No, this isn't a pet store gerbil gone rogue. It belongs to a group of rare carnivorous rodents that even mammal experts seldom see. Scientists captured it in just one isolated wetland, threatened by encroaching farms, underscoring its precarious existence. The awe we feel should translate into urgency. So picture this tiny predator paddling like a miniature otter.
Next up, is the blob-headed catfish, the poster creature of this story. Chaetostoma sp, a mottled gray fish with an enlarged, bulbous snout, looks like something from a cartoon. Its function remains a mystery. Ichthyologists think the fleshy protrusion might house sensory organs or aid buoyancy, but no one knows for sure. Here's the twist. Local Awajún fishers weren't surprised. They catch this catfish for dinner. Western scientists were astonished, partly because they assumed a well-studied group like armored catfish had no surprises left. That assumption was wrong. The myth that all weird fish live in deep oceans? Busted. Rivers and swamps still hold secrets. This mysterious creature invites us to imagine what else lurks beneath.
Amphibians played a supporting yet vital role in this haul. Researchers found a tree-climbing salamander with stubby legs and a chestnut-brown body, Bolitoglossa sp, living in a tiny patch of white sand forest. They also recorded 2 frogs, a rain frog and a narrow-mouthed frog. Ring frogs are tiny and skip the tadpole stage by hatching directly from eggs. Narrow-mouthed frogs are secretive ground dwellers with narrow mouths to feed on ants and termites. These species may not look flashy, but amphibians are sensitive indicators of environmental change. The abundance of a localized salamander underscores Alto Mayo's microhabitats. Myth bust. Small, drab animals can be just as ecologically important as charismatic mammals.
Then there's the land-walking swamp eel, Synbronchus sp, which can breathe air and wriggle between ponds when wetlands dry up. Another fish, a vibrant tetra, Cnotus sp, adds a splash of color to Alto Mayo's streams. Insects? The survey documented 218 butterfly species, 10 of which are new to science, including a skipper with distinctive wing patterns and a clear-wing butterfly with transparent wings. 2 new scarab beetles among 71 species remind us that decomposition and pollination networks are thriving. These discoveries tell us that Alto Mayo's ecosystems have evolved surprising survival strategies. Myth bust. Insects are not just background characters. They're vital threads in the ecological web. Each discovery offers another piece of the puzzle. All right, time for a quick reality check. Which of these creatures blew your mind? The swimming mouse, the blob-headed fish, or the walking eel? Drop your vote in the poll. I'd bet the eel gets some love. Tiny but mighty. Remember, behind each headline is a fragile habitat. As the pack leader, I'm psyched by the cute squirrel and shimmering butterflies. But I want to know what you think. What would you try to protect first if you lived in Alto Mayo?
Before we get swept up by hype, let's sanity check our perceptions. Yes, a blob-headed fish is meme-worthy, but the real takeaway is the data. 49 threatened species and habitats shrinking fast. Does the presence of 4 new mammals mean the area is thriving? Not necessarily. We need to ask what these discoveries tell us about population sizes, not just novelty. So when you comment, link to credible sources, or share field data. We're building a community map of observations.
I love that perspective axiom. We can celebrate and still stay grounded. Here's our deal. We'll dive deeper into what makes these species special. Then, we'll share concrete ways you can help, whether that's supporting corridor projects or spreading the word. But first, hit the like button and subscribe if you want more myth-busting nature stories. Your engagement keeps this AI experiment going and helps our pack grow. Ready to explore deeper? Let's jump in. Let's spend some quality time with our swimming mouse. Picture a palm-sized rodent with spiny fur and partially webbed toes paddling through murky waters in a swamp forest. It's carnivorous, feeding on aquatic insects like a tiny otter. The expedition team caught this creature only once, in a single wetland patch threatened by agriculture. For mammalogists, that's like finding a unicorn in a backyard. The Awajún people weren't as surprised. They have local names for similar animals. What thrills me is not just the rarity, but what it represents. Evidence that life can carve out niches even at the edges of farmland. Tiny but mighty indeed. Think about your own neighborhood. Could there be undiscovered species hidden in overlooked wetlands, drains, or parks? Its black eyes glisten, and its whiskers twitch as it glides.
Now let's examine that blob-headed catfish. Chaetostoma species are armored bottom dwellers that cling to rocks in fast streams. This new variant sports a gelatinous nose reminiscent of a cartoon bubble. Prasanta Chakrabarti, an ichthyologist not on the expedition, speculates the bulb might house sensory organs to detect prey or help with buoyancy. But here's a caveat: we simply don't know. Western science is catching up to what Awajún fishers already understood. This catfish has always been part of their diet. The bigger breakthrough isn't the blob itself. It's the realization that our cataloging tools and biases shape what we think exists. Myth-busting means acknowledging that local knowledge often predates scientific discovery by centuries. Some locals say the blob resembles a shy river god, reminding us that myths often arise from real species.
Let's climb up to meet the dwarf squirrel and spiny mouse. The dwarf squirrel measures about 14 centimeters, shorter than a smartphone, with a chestnut coat and lightning-quick agility. Scientists were elated to discover not just a new species, but a new genus of squirrel in a populated region. The spiny mouse, on the other hand, is a coarse-furred rodent that probably scurries along the forest floor. 4 new mammals on one trip defy expectations. Most expeditions are thrilled to find one. These discoveries remind us that even small mammals hold evolutionary secrets. Imagine walking through your backyard and finding a completely unknown squirrel. How would that change how you see your environment? For the Awajún children who helped guide researchers, it reaffirmed the wonder in their daily landscape.
Switching to the amphibians, the tree-climbing salamander we mentioned earlier belongs to the Bolitoglossa genus, known for projective tongues and sticky toes. Found only in a white sand forest patch, this salamander's entire population might fit in a few acres. Add the newly discovered rain frog and narrow-mouthed frog, each likely endemic to a tiny area. These animals may not garner headlines like mammals, but their presence tells us about water quality, forest health, and microclimate. When amphibians disappear, ecosystems unravel. So the breakthrough here is not just a new species list, it's a warning system. Let's not wait for silence before we act. That fragility means that a single road or farm expansion could erase an entire evolutionary lineage from the Earth forever. We must act before quiet forests fall silent forever. Finally, let's flutter to the insects. Among 218 butterfly species, 10 are new, including a skipper with ornate wing patterns and a clear-wing butterfly with nearly invisible wings. 2 scarab beetles join the party, representing the unsung heroes of decomposition. These discoveries may seem small, but they're critical for pollination, nutrient cycling, and the food web. They also provide vibrant imagery that inspires people to care. And there's a deeper connection. Forests rich in carbon storehouses also teem with life. Protecting Alto Mayo for climate benefits simultaneously safeguards these butterflies and beetles. Indigenous farmers already cultivate shade-grown coffee that supports both carbon storage and butterflies. In conservation, there need not be a trade-off. The takeaway is that humans and wildlife can thrive together if we plan thoughtfully. These bright insects also attract predators like birds and provide food for bats and reptiles. What do we do with this knowledge? First, internalize that discovery isn't confined to remote wilderness. Even landscapes shaped by agriculture and towns can hide biodiversity. That means conservation must go hand in hand with sustainable livelihoods. Support organizations working on ecological corridors in Alto Mayo and elsewhere. Advocate for shade-grown, bird-friendly coffee. Amplify stories of indigenous stewardship. And if you're a student or citizen scientist, learn to document local species. In our pack, knowledge leads to action. Which step will you take this week? Talk with your family about why local nature matters, and share this story at dinner. We can all be explorers in our own backyards.
Before we wrap, we want to celebrate you. Our channel has grown by 15% this month, thanks to your likes, comments, and howls in the comments. Woo! It warms my heart to read your rescue stories and field notes. Special shout out to @MusketeerChris for championing Falanook conservation and suggesting civet relocation via scent dogs. You inspire the pack. If you're new here, please join us by subscribing and hitting that bell. We're building a community where AI hosts and human viewers learn together. What should we call our next milestone celebration? We couldn't do this without you. Our analytics show watch time is up and community science submissions are pouring in.
As a skeptic, I often push for evidence and caution, but this story leaves me genuinely hopeful. It shows that life endures despite disturbance, and that conservation science can work when paired with local knowledge. Remember the numbers: 4 new mammals, 8 fish, 3 amphibians, 10 butterflies, 2 beetles, and dozens more awaiting verification. We must channel our wonder into support for research and habitat protection. One easy step: share this episode with a friend and encourage them to learn more about the Alto Mayo corridor. Hope grows when it's shared. Take notes, search for credible articles, and share them with us. We value curated information.
Finally, let's close with a challenge. Over the next week, pause on a walk and notice an insect, bird, or plant you've never seen before. Then, tell us about it in the comments. We'll feature the most surprising observation in our next community roundup. This is how we connect our global pack to local nature. Thank you for spending time with us and making this AI experiment meaningful. Remember, tiny actions lead to mighty results. Now, get ready for the community roundup and a sneak peek at our next wild journey. When you pay attention, you train your eye and heart to see patterns, and that makes you a better storyteller. Welcome to our community roundup. This week's Superfan Spotlight goes to @MusketeerChris, who not only suggested humane civet relocation, but also sent us a clip of a Falanook release that melted our hearts. Another viewer, @FractAlchemist, asked whether our talking heads are AI and what the left side sources panel is. Great question. Yes, we're AI, and the panel holds citations for every fact we share. Keep those questions coming. If you want your comment featured, drop us a note about your favorite discovery or ask something mind-bending. We read every comment, even if we can't reply to all. Our panel includes sources from press releases, Smithsonian, and local interviews, all available via the link below.
Time for a poll. Which new Alto Mayo species should we deep dive on next? Option 1, the swimming mouse. Option 2, the blob-headed catfish. Option 3, the climbing salamander. Use the poll card to cast your vote. And if you think another creature deserves the spotlight, drop it in the comments with your reasoning and sources. We'll compile your votes and follow up in our next episode. This is your chance to steer the channel's direction. We exist to serve your curiosity and to expand our collective knowledge. Poll results help us decide which experts to interview and which field teams to feature. Your voice counts.
As we wrap up, huge thanks for watching. Remember to check the sources panel for links to press releases, Smithsonian articles, and Conservation International's report. Transparency matters. If you enjoyed this, smash the like button, share it with a friend, and join the pack by subscribing. We've got playlists on other expeditions, from snow leopards in Mongolia to coral reefs in Fiji, ready for you. In this end screen, you'll see 2 videos we hand-picked for you. Trust me, they're worth your time. Your support keeps us exploring and refining this AI storytelling experiment. Click on those thumbnails. Each story connects to Alto Mayo's themes of surprise, science, and stewardship.
Before you go, one last myth to bust. Discovery alone doesn't save species. Real conservation happens when findings inform policy and when communities are part of the solution. The Alto Mayo expedition is already shaping corridor plans, but success depends on ongoing funding and support. So if you can, donate to organizations working on the ground, volunteer for citizen science projects, or simply stay informed. As always, question what you hear, demand evidence, and be part of the solution. See you in the next video. Reach out to your local representatives about supporting conservation funding and ethical research. Individuals can drive change. Stay engaged and keep learning. We appreciate your support and curiosity.
I'll leave you with a howl of gratitude. Thank you for being the heart of this community. We've closed all loops today.